All right, picture this. You're in the UPSC Mains exam time is ticking away, and bam, a question about AI's impact on the Indian financial sector hits you.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
No kidding. But hey, that's why we're doing this deep dive today, to arm you with the knowledge to tackle those tricky UPSC questions head on. We're talking AI in Indian finance.
And it's not just about the exam. AI is transforming finance globally, and India's right there in the lead. Understanding this stuff, it's super important for anyone who wants to shape India's economic future, especially for those of you aiming for those key roles in the government.
Exactly. We've been poring over these articles from the Indian Express, the Hindu and Business Standard.
Great sources.
Yeah, and they all point to how proactive the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, has been on AI, especially their focus on implementing it ethically.
That's really key. AI could revolutionize finance, boost efficiency, improve decision-making, create awesome customer experiences. But there's a flip side, and that's where ethics comes in.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. The RBI just formed this committee, the Free AI Committee, to tackle this head-on.
Yeah, Free AI stands for Framework for Responsible and Ethical Enablement of Artificial Intelligence. They've got a team of experts led by Professor Pushpak Bhattacharya from IIT Bombay.
And this isn't just for show. Their mission is crystal clear. Analyze global and Indian AI trends, compare how other countries are regulating it, pinpoint risks, and most importantly, recommend guidelines for ethical AI use in finance. This is gold for UPSC aspirants.
Absolutely. They won't just ask you what is AI. They want you to analyze it, critique it, and come up with solutions, just like this committee.
So let's dive into some of these ethical hot potatoes that they and you as future policymakers have to wrestle with. Let's start with fairness and non-discrimination. That's a biggie, right?
Huge. AI systems, especially in finance, they can actually inherit and amplify biases that already exist. Think about loan approvals. If an AI is trained on data that's already biased, it could unfairly deny loans based on things like gender, religion, even where you live. That could lead to some serious social and economic inequalities.
The articles mention a real-life case where an algorithm was rejecting loans based on postal codes, basically shutting out entire communities from financial opportunities. The company ended up facing legal action, and their reputation took a major hit.
Ouch. Yeah, that's a classic example. And it ties into another big ethical concern, transparency. We need to know how these AI systems are making decisions. These black box algorithms where the process is hidden erode trust and can lead to all sorts of problems.
Imagine being denied a loan and having zero clue why. Or think about those AI-powered robo-advisors that are becoming more popular. They need to be able to explain their investment recommendations, not just spit out results based on some mysterious formula.
For sure. And then there's data privacy and security. Financial institutions have mountains of sensitive personal data, our bank accounts, transaction histories, investment portfolios. It's a hacker's dream. AI systems have to be designed with rock-solid security to protect this information from breaches and misuse.
Speaking of data privacy, India's Personal Data Protection Act, the PDP Act, came into effect in 2023.
Yeah, that's a game changer for data privacy in this age of AI. It sets strict rules for how companies can collect, store, and use our personal data. That's crucial in this data-driven world.
One article specifically mentioned AI-driven fraud detection systems. They need to use anonymized data to catch shady transactions without compromising anyone's privacy. It's a tightrope walk, but the PDP Act provides a safety net.
Right. But even with the best regulations and security, we can't just blindly trust algorithms. That's where accountability and human oversight come in. We need humans in the loop to catch errors, address ethical concerns, and make sure AI is being used for good.
It's like a safety net, right? Automated systems might be super efficient, but they can still mess up or be used for the wrong reasons. Regular audits and accountability measures are essential. We can't just let these algorithms run wild.
Absolutely. And finally, we have to be careful about becoming too reliant on automation. AI can boost efficiency, but human judgment is still essential, especially in complex situations that require intuition and understanding the bigger picture.
Like investment decisions, right? An AI might flag risks based on market trends and data, but a human financial expert needs to make the final call considering all those nuances an algorithm might miss.
You got it. So you see, understanding these ethical considerations isn't just for your UPSC exam. It's about becoming responsible leaders who can shape a future where AI benefits everyone.
Totally. And speaking of responsible AI, India is taking some major steps in the right direction. We'll dig into those in part 2. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the rest of this deep dive.
Back again, everyone. Last time we dug into some ethical pitfalls of AI in finance. Now, let's flip the script and see how India is tackling these challenges head-on, creating a roadmap for responsible AI. This is especially important if you're prepping for the UPSC.
Right on. Identifying problems is one thing, but finding solutions, that's the real test of leadership. And one thing that popped up in our research is the concept of regulatory sandboxes. Sounds kind of playful, but it's actually a pretty strategic move by the RBI.
Definitely. It's all about striking that balance between encouraging innovation and keeping risks in check. Think of it as a testing ground where fintech companies can experiment with their AI solutions in a controlled environment before they go live.
Like a beta test for financial AI. That's smart.
Exactly. In these sandboxes, companies can put their AI systems through the ringer, testing for bias security flaws, transparency issues, iron out those ethical wrinkles before they hit the market.
Makes total sense. It's like giving them a chance to fine-tune their AI models under the RBI's watchful eye, making sure they meet ethical standards before they're unleashed on the public.
And here's another cool example of India's proactive approach. They're using AI to fight financial crime. The RBI developed this tool called MuleHunter.ai to target mule accounts.
Whoa, that's interesting. What exactly are mule accounts and how are they used?
So mule accounts are basically bank accounts used by criminals to launder money. Often they get them through identity theft or by tricking people. They're a huge problem, especially with online scams and cybercrime becoming more sophisticated.
So how does MuleHunter.ai fit into all of this?
MuleHunter.ai uses fancy algorithms to analyze transaction patterns, looking for any suspicious activity that screams, mule account. It's like having a digital detective constantly scanning for red flags.
That's awesome. It's great to see AI being used for good, protecting people and keeping the financial system clean.
Absolutely. And this commitment to responsible AI goes beyond the RBI. The Indian government, through its think tank, NET Aayog, they've put together a national strategy on AI.
This isn't just focused on finance, though, right?
Yeah. Nope. It takes a much wider view, looking at the impact of AI on all sorts of sectors: healthcare, education, agriculture, you name it. It's not just about the tech, but about making sure AI benefits everyone.
That's important, especially for those of you studying for the UPSC. Examiners want to see you grasp the big picture. Not just focus on one area, but analyze how AI affects different parts of Indian society.
Exactly. And one of the pillars of the strategy is developing responsible AI, AI that's ethical, inclusive, and aligned with human values. This means promoting research on fairness, transparency, and accountability, as well as coming up with standards and guidelines for AI development and use.
Sounds like India is really serious about this.
Yeah.
They're not just jumping into AI without thinking. They're carefully planning to make sure it's implemented ethically and responsibly.
For sure. They're not afraid to face the challenges, but they're also proactive about finding solutions, like we saw with regulatory sandboxes and tools like MuleHunter.ai.
All of this is super relevant for your UPSC prep, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Remember, the exam isn't just about memorizing facts and figures. It's about showing you can understand complex issues, analyze different perspectives, and have a vision for a better India.
And AI in Indian finance is a perfect example of that. You need to be able to explain the benefits, the ethical challenges, and the steps India is taking to address them.
Imagine you're advising the government on AI policy. What would you recommend? How can we use AI to boost inclusive growth, protect consumer rights, and make life better for everyone? These are the kind of questions UPSC examiners love.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dives, here's the key takeaway. India's approach to AI in finance is all about balancing innovation with responsibility. It's about harnessing the power of AI for good while keeping ethical considerations front and center. That's a lesson worth remembering, not just for your exam, but for shaping a future where AI benefits everyone.
In the final part of our deep dive, we'll tie everything together and distill some key insights to help you ace those AI questions on the mains exam. Stay tuned.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into AI in Indian finance. Future policymakers, are you ready to connect the dots?
Absolutely. In the last two parts, we explored the potential of AI in finance, delved into the ethical considerations, and saw how India is taking a proactive and responsible approach.
Right, so let's bring it all together and distill some key takeaways to help you nail those AI questions on your UPSC mains exam.
Exactly. Remember, the examiners aren't looking for rote memorization. They want to see your analytical skills, your ability to connect the dots, and your vision for how AI can shape a better India.
Okay, so let's start with India's commitment to responsible AI development. That's a major theme throughout our source material.
You got it. It's not about adopting AI just because it's cool new tech. It's about using its power for good, while prioritizing ethical considerations, fairness, and transparency. And we've seen this commitment in action with initiatives like the Free AI Committee, regulatory sandboxes, and the National Strategy on AI.
And this proactive approach by India, that's a treasure trove for your UPSC prep. Think about it. You can use these examples to show you understand how India is balancing innovation with responsibility. You can analyze the strengths and weaknesses of these initiatives, compare them with what other countries are doing, and even suggest ways to make them better.
Precisely. They want to see you actively engaging with the information, not just passively absorbing it. Show them you can critically analyze policies, evaluate their effectiveness, and offer well-reasoned recommendations.
So imagine you get a question about the RBI's role in shaping ethical AI in finance. You could discuss the Free EAI Committee, highlighting their mission to develop guidelines for responsible AI use. Then you can talk about regulatory sandboxes, explaining how they provide a safe space for testing AI-powered solutions before they hit the market.
And to take it a step further, you could compare India's approach to what other countries are doing. Are there any lessons we can learn from them? Any potential pitfalls to avoid? This kind of comparative analysis shows you have a deeper understanding of the global landscape and that you're a well-informed future policymaker.
Another crucial point to remember: human oversight. It's vital. Even the smartest AI systems can make mistakes or be misused. So how do we make sure human judgment stays at the heart of decision-making? How do we design systems that are accountable and transparent?
Those are excellent questions, and the kind that UPSC examiners love to throw your way. There are no easy answers, but just grappling with these complex issues shows you can think critically and that you get the ethical side of AI.
And don't forget the broader societal impact. AI isn't just about technology. It's about people. It's about making sure AI benefits everyone, not just a select few. So how do we promote inclusivity? How do we deal with potential biases? How do we mitigate the risks of job losses and economic inequality?
These are all essential considerations for future leaders. The UPSC examiners are looking for candidates who understand that technology should serve humanity, not the other way around. They want to see that you're not just tech-savvy, but also ethically aware and socially responsible.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into AI in Indian finance, I want to leave you with this thought. The future is full of possibilities, and AI has the power to transform our world. But it's up to us, the future leaders of India, to make sure this transformation is guided by ethical principles, human values, and a vision for a more inclusive and prosperous society.
Remember, the UPSC exam isn't just about getting a prestigious job. It's about preparing yourself for the huge responsibility of shaping India's future. And by really engaging with complex issues like AI, you're taking that first step towards becoming the ethical, insightful, and impactful leaders that India needs.
If you found this deep dive helpful on your UPSC journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow aspirants. We'll be back with more insightful deep dives into topics that matter. Until then, happy studying and keep those brains buzzing.